All right. Okay, great. Tonight, the first time I'm doing this workshop, although I've been teaching for like 30 years, everybody has certain qualities, okay? Some are good at computer programming, some are good artists, some are good accountants, whatever. But when you have a good skill, you can only really work and succeed in that one field, okay? But when you have the most important skill, which is self-confidence, being comfortable with yourself, that's power that you can do anything in your life. That's why I had over 20 different companies and 20 different kinds of business. So the other thing is, if you're really good at whatever you do, but you're insecure, you're scared, you're timid, you're difficult to work with, it doesn't matter how good you are, you're not going to get people to want to work with you, okay? Even if you're mediocre, not so great, but good enough, but people want to work with you, they like you, you'll get lots of work, all right? So that's the basic principle. So tonight I'm going to talk about how to have strong, powerful self-confidence, all right? Because that self-confidence is my greatest superpower. Because nobody can manipulate me. Can't make me feel guilty. You cannot make me do stupid things just because you want me to. You cannot make me feel bad because you did something wrong. You cannot manipulate because I have very strong self-confidence. I'm comfortable with myself. You like me, you don't like me. You insult me, you compliment me. Doesn't matter. I don't get affected because I have strong self-confidence. My self-esteem is perfected, pretty close to it, okay? So tonight it's going to be about how to have this kind of powerful self-confidence and also aspects of how to interact or put that useful in life, in work, in relationships, and so on. But it's about how to have this powerful self-confidence so you are like a mountain. Nobody can move you, but in a good sense, okay? So I had created something I call ethicalism, which is a collection of 39 ethics, which I've written, with exercises for each one. Tonight I'm going to take a few of those ethics to build on the focus of self-confidence and success, all right? So everything happens in your subconscious mind. You know that you have the conscious mind, who's here right now listening, and the subconscious mind, you know, those thoughts that go on in the back of your head, okay? So a lot of things, the new agey stuff that's out there now, they talk about affirmations. Have positive affirmations, right? You've heard about this, right? You know, right? Positive. Right? I'm awesome. I'm great. I love myself. I'm strong. I accept myself. I'm going to be rich. All of these positive affirmations. So they're saying if you repeat and believe something enough, you'll be that way, right? However, that's just your conscious mind saying, I'm great, I'm great, I'm awesome, I'm great. But if your subconscious mind, which knows the truth, knows that you're not great, none of these affirmations are worth anything. Total waste of time. Because that's like the ant trying to move the giant. All right? The subconscious mind is your power. It is you. It knows the truth. And no matter what you tell your conscious mind, all of these things, the subconscious is far more powerful. It's not going to change. My point is that if you say to yourself, I'm an honest person, I'm honest, I never steal, and you keep stealing things, your subconscious is never going to believe that you're an honest person. If you say, I'm always on time, I'm so reliable, I'm always on time, I'm on time, another affirmation, I'm on time, and you're always late, your subconscious knows you're always late. You can't fool it. So affirmations do not work if your actions are opposite to the affirmation. All right, you follow? And you can ask questions anytime, by the way, right? Don't be shy. Anytime you just stop me and ask any questions. All right, you too, Shemay, if you want to. All right, so your subconscious mind, they say that if you repeat an affirmation enough times, your subconscious mind will start to believe it. But it's not stupid. You can repeat any word you want, but if your actions are opposite, you cannot say, I'm always on time when you're always late. Your subconscious knows better. So you're lying to yourself. That destroys your self-esteem. Okay? Your subconscious mind, which knows the truth. In other words, the truth about what you are will determine how strong your self-confidence is and your self-esteem, how you feel about yourself, based on your actions, not just repeating words. Okay? So that's the first most important thing about self-esteem, is that it's not enough to just have a vision board and repeat thoughts. You have to have the actions to back it up, because that's what the truth about you is. Okay? So now, just for some words, self-esteem and self-confidence, they're the same. They're pretty much, I mean, it's just different words to say the same thing. All right? Now, when you have self-confidence, you also have courage, and you will succeed. If you do not have self-confidence or a good self-esteem, you will be fearful and you will fail. You can survive, but you're never going to be great. Okay? So if you want to be a real success, business, relationships, how you feel about yourself, a success as a human being is very simple. If you want to say, are you successful? I feel good about myself. Sincerely good about myself. I'm content with who I am. That's success. So when anyone is talking about success and they say, oh, you made a lot of money, you have 7 houses, or all of these things that people would call success, the only true definition of success is, I feel good about myself. I'm happy with who I am. I'm proud to be me. That is the true definition of success. All right? So, to get success and courage, in other words, fearless, you're not scared of anything, you have to have the self-confidence, because I know I can do it. I know who I am. I know what I really am. I'm not lying to myself with affirmations and then saying I'm honest and then I steal. Okay? Now, guilt is the seed of low self-esteem. But should you feel really guilty? Let's start with this first line first. Okay, guilty. When you feel guilty, that means I'm a bad person, I did something wrong, I'm not good enough, I'm not tall enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not whatever, I stole this, I'm bad, I'm lazy, I'm stupid, I'm no good. Guilt makes you feel bad about yourself, destroys your self-esteem. So what we're going to work on is how never to feel guilty. All right? So that's the question. Should you really feel guilty about anything? No matter what anyone says about you, how they put you down in any way, be it friends at school, be it your teachers, your parents, your customers, your co-workers, any human being in this planet who puts you down in any way that makes you feel guilty, should you really feel guilty? Each situation is different, right? If you are stealing and someone calls you a thief, yes, you should feel guilty. Like one of my students, this fellow, he was always paranoid. You know paranoid? Someone's out to get you, right? He was always paranoid. People are out to get, people are watching him, people are this, people are that, da, 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 da. And he's always scared, very insecure, very low self-esteem. And it was years, I couldn't get him past this. And one day it comes out, he was a freelancer, had his own business. One day it comes out, he had been cheating on his income tax. And I mean really cheating, like faking invoices, really bad. This is like really bad cheating. If you get caught, you go to jail. All right, that's the bad cheating he was doing. And because of that, when you cheat, lie, steal, or you are a bad person, harming people, doing all these bad things, that will create paranoia. And paranoia destroys your self-confidence because you're always scared of getting caught out. Simple. So what we want is to say, I made you feel you're a bad person, this and that. Are you? So in his case, when he was cheating on his taxes, he knew he was a bad person. He knew he was doing something wrong. He knew he could get in a lot of trouble. So he was always paranoid. But if I said, I'm going to call the tax man, you're cheating on your taxes, I'm going to get you arrested, and you're not cheating, you're not going to feel guilty. If you're a thief if you're not a thief, you're not stealing, you're not lying, and I say you are, and I'll say it again and again and again to make you feel guilty so I can control you, because when I destroy your self-esteem, I make you feel pretty low. It's easy to control you. That's why people like guilt. So it's easy to control you. So if I say you're a bad person, you're stupid, and you know you're not stupid, that's not going to make you feel guilty. So therefore your self-esteem is stronger. Okay? So it's only if you actually do the bad thing that people are picking on you for that you'll feel guilty. That destroys your self-esteem. They can pick on you, but if you didn't do it, you won't feel guilty and your self-esteem stays strong. And that's power. So it's basically this: don't think who you are, know who you are. Because your self-esteem shows what you think or what you know about yourself. Not what you think about yourself, what you know about yourself. So that's like the affirmations. When you say, I'm awesome, I'm great, I'm wonderful, I'm awesome, I'm great, but I know that I'm actually really lazy and stupid and I can't do anything, my self-esteem will be low because I know the truth about myself. The subconscious always knows the truth. So don't think you're awesome and you're fantastic. Actually be awesome and fantastic. Or be middle, be average. And no, I am average. I'm not awesome. I'm not an astronaut. I'm not going to change the world. But I'm not a thief. I'm not unreliable. So I know the truth about myself. When you know the truth, as you really are, that is the starting point from building a great life. Okay? So we're not saying this is where you're going to be forever. We're going to say, like for example, if you want to jump and you're on solid ground, you can jump pretty high. But if you were standing on a cloud, so there's nothing solid, for example, if it were possible, you couldn't jump because there's nothing solid that you jump off of, right? So knowing who you are is the solid ground for you to jump forward in your life. But if you just keep thinking you're awesome, you're great and amazing, you're not standing on solid ground. You don't know the truth about yourself, okay? So it begins with saying, what am I really? I know who I am. Then I'm not going to feel guilty. I can't be manipulated. That builds my self-esteem to a certain level. Now I can start to say, okay, I can improve a little bit. I can improve a little bit. And with my improving myself, your self-esteem improves. Now, strong self-confidence, self-esteem, is the greatest power because everybody wants someone who feels good about themselves. Nobody likes to be around someone who's always, oh yeah, I'm scared, I'm timid, I'm weak, I'm no good, I'm a bad person, oh yeah, it's okay, you're better than me. Nobody wants to be around that. No one's going to trust you to work for them or with them. People will only trust somebody who says, yes, I know what I can do. I'm very comfortable with myself. Give me the job. I can do this. Nope, I cannot do that. But I know what I can do and I'm comfortable with myself. That instills confidence in other people. They will admire someone like that. So that's what our work tonight is about, how to get that. And that's basically, the beginning is, your actions will determine how you feel about yourself. Okay? Now, remember we talked about feeling guilty, all right? This one, Mo already saw in one of our other workshops, but I wanted to take just this one slide out of our communications workshop, because this is important. People feel strong when they make you feel angry or weak. So the greatest weapon are words, right? The pen is mightier than the sword. Have you ever heard that saying? Okay, William Shakespeare. It was Shakespeare, wasn't it? Yeah. You ever heard of Shakespeare? Oh, okay. All right. The little one hasn't, maybe. All right. That means the pen is mightier than the sword, which means words can cut through you more than a sword can cut through you. Because we're very sensitive creatures. If I say, you're stupid, you're ugly, you're this, you're that, it hurts. Why does it hurt? Because you don't know the truth about yourself. You want to believe you're awesome, but you know you're not. You want to believe you're always on time, but you're always late. Whatever things are for each person. Words can hurt us when we don't have a strong self-confidence, and we don't have a strong self-confidence when you don't know who you really are, because you're avoiding looking at your day-to-day actions of your personality. But when you know who you are, and you know the truth, yes, I do steal some little things here and there. I do cheat a little bit here and there, but I'm trying to be better. I know the truth about myself. Then you can insult me all you want. Doesn't hurt me a bit. That knife, I leave it on the table. Because the words are just like a knife they put on the table, right? Because words can't actually hurt you. You feel hurt by what someone says. But the words themselves are just sounds. Si je parle français, tu comprends pas de français, je peux le dire que toi, tu es une grande vache. Toi, tant il n'y a pas de chance en vie que tu vas être un succès, ça ne fait rien du tout. Right? You see, my words didn't hurt you at all. I said, you're a big fat cow, and you're completely stupid. You have no chance in life to succeed. But it didn't bother you because you didn't understand the words. So you see, words have no meaning in themselves. It's how you hear it, how you interpret those words. That's what gives it power. So when someone will insult you, if you don't know who you are, you might think, well, maybe they are right. And I am no good. Maybe they see something I don't see. And I really am unreliable, or I am stupid, or whatever it is. And so then that lack of confidence makes it hurt. You pick up the knife and stick it in your own heart. That's how you get hurt by words. But when you know yourself, the words cannot hurt you if they're not true. And if they are true, it doesn't hurt you. It's just, you're right. I have to do something about that. Okay? So no one can make you feel guilty when you know the truth about yourself. Imagine a life where you never feel guilty. You never feel bad about anything. That you're very comfortable with everything about yourself, and nobody can make you feel bad. Okay? So that is strong self-confidence, self-esteem. All right? So now we're going to get into a few of the qualities of character to get this powerful self-esteem. All right? So now these are rules to live by in every aspect of your life. The first thing is accept full responsibility for everything in your life. So accepting responsibility is both for the things that happen to you and your own thoughts and your own feelings and your emotions. So when I insult you, if you feel bad, you've got to remember that's your fault, not me. I didn't hurt you because my words were a knife I put on the table. You picked up the knife and hurt yourself. because you decided to take those words personally, either because you're feeling inferior, you're feeling scared, or for whatever reason. But when you know that words have no more value than the sound, and it's you who interprets them and gives them meaning based on your self-confidence, then you know that it's your fault you feel this way. But if you're living in a life where you're proud to be who you are, no words can hurt you at all, because you'll take responsibility for all your actions. Okay, so that's the point of this exercise. Taking full responsibility means, you work for me. You stupid. You screwed this job up. You idiot. How could you be this dumb? You made such a mistake. One of two things happened. Either you did screw up or you didn't. Right? You either did or you didn't. It's pretty black and white. Now, if I am attacking you to say you screwed up and you know you did not, then you can say, hey, don't get mad at me. I didn't. Here's my work. My work is good. I didn't make a mistake. So there, you're strong. You're confident. You know yourself. But if you accept full responsibility and you see, oh, you know, I did screw up. You're absolutely right. I made a mistake and I will fix it. All right? So, for example, this is my driveway in New Zealand, my house. I built the house and the driveway was done, you know, paver stones. And the guy who did the driveway said, fully guaranteed, absolutely fully guaranteed. Cool. Within a year, you see how some moved? There's big gaps here. Here, the whole thing collapsed at this section. So I'm calling him. I said, hey, it's a lot of problems. Come and fix it. It takes the guy a year till he finally shows up to look at it. And he goes, oh yeah, we got to redo this. This is a big problem, got to redo this. And he gives me a quote, $3,000. I said, excuse me, what do I have to pay? You told me your work is fully guaranteed. He said, oh, it's not my fault. The earth moved. This is your business. You should know how to prepare it properly, right? But he accepts no responsibility for his actions. You see? So what would you think of this guy? Would you ever recommend him? Would you talk to him again? But you will recommend people not to work with him. Right? He doesn't accept any responsibility. And you know what? He's not a rich guy. He's always struggling. I wonder why. No acceptance of responsibility for his actions. On the other hand, one of my other students from New Zealand, he's a freelancer, and in his business, everyone at his level, they're making $50,000 to $60,000 a year. This boy makes over $250,000 a year. And why? Because anytime New Zealanders like this driveway guy never accept responsibility for their mistakes. They always deny it. They say, no, I'm not going to fix it. Oh, okay, I'll fix it, but you have to pay for me to fix it, even though it's their mistake. That's why they have very low self-esteem. New Zealanders have, I've been in 92 countries. I'd say the lowest self-esteem is New Zealanders, because they'd accept no responsibility for their actions. So they're very scared. You can make a cry like that. So this one boy, I taught him, anytime something is wrong, you never argue, you never dispute. As soon as there's a complaint, you say, what is wrong? I will fix it, no charge right away. And because of that attitude, he is so different than everybody else in that business in New Zealand. He makes more than 5 times more than anybody else. Okay? And his confidence is quite good, because he knows, if I make a mistake, I will fix it. I accept responsibility for my actions. All right? So this is number one. There's two points to being super successful in life. This is the first point. Accept responsibility for all your feelings. You have taken it personally. You have interpreted it wrongly, perhaps, or you did make a mistake and you're denying it. You don't want to accept responsibility. So if you accept responsibility for everything, you'll feel good about it. You'll be proud to be you. Because if you do a job and the customer is complaining, no, I'm sorry. If you do a job, you're always scared that the customer will complain because you don't want to take responsibility for your mistakes. But if you are ready to take full responsibility to fix everything, even if you lose money or time or whatever, you're never scared about what anybody is going to say about you. You're never scared to talk to someone, to answer the phone, whatever it is, because you're not scared if they're going to complain, if they're going to have a problem. Because I'm ready to fix my mistakes, right? Now, like this boy making 5 times more, when you accept responsibility, you are so different than anyone anywhere in the world, not just New Zealand, all right? As you start to work and go forward in your life, you're going to see nobody takes responsibility for their mistakes. But if you will, everyone will come to you because they know they can rely on you for the 2 reasons that you'll fix your mistakes, and secondly, that you're a confident, happy, comfortable person with yourself. You're nice to be with. Okay? So that's the first rule. Accept full responsibility for yourself, and you can take a picture of this one if you want. Because here are the 2 exercises that you do to accept the responsibility. The first is, as I was just saying, if you make a mistake in your work or anything that causes another person loss, don't charge to fix the problem you created. Now that goes the same way that, for example, at one time I was living in Germany and I had my bicycle. I put my bicycle next to a car. Well, it was just, on the side. And I put it on the stand. Except something went wrong and I didn't put the stand properly. The bike fell on the car and made a scratch. Nobody was there. I could have just go away. But no, I caused the damage. So I put a note with my phone number on and left it on the car. I'm sorry, my bicycle fell, scratched your car. Please call me. I will pay for all the repairs. Okay? So any mistake you make, anything that causes any harm to anyone in any way, you will fix that at your cost. Because it is not fair, and you will find this as you go through life where you get cheated and hurt by somebody else's mistakes that they won't pay for. It is not fair that people who suffer a loss because somebody else's error. If you're innocent, you shouldn't be penalized because someone else made a mistake. So by the same token, if you make a mistake, they shouldn't be penalized to pay for it either, right? So there's your self-esteem. Now, if you say, why should people cheat me? Why should I be cheated? I'm a good person, or I don't like being cheated. They made a mistake. But you do the same thing. You have very low self-esteem. You know that you're guilty of doing exactly what you're complaining about other people doing to you. So you'll always feel intimidated, scared, weak. But if you have this perfect integrity and you always take responsibility for your actions, when somebody hurts you or wants something from you or causes you damage, you will very strong and confidently say, no, you made the mistake, you pay. You can do that with strength, as opposed to if you're doing the same thing, you don't make mistakes and you don't want to take responsibility, and somebody hurts you, say, oh, would you mind, please? I mean, you made the mistake. Okay, you don't want to? Okay, I don't want to, People will take advantage of you. And you will let them, because you will feel guilty because you do that same thing. So that means your whole life, people will hurt you and get away with it. They will cheat you and get away with it. They will insult you and you will feel bad and they will get away with it. Because you are not taking responsibility for all your actions. So if you want to have that strong, powerful self-esteem, that's number 1 rule. Full responsibility for all of your actions. Number 2, consider all your emotional reactions if they're objective and beneficial or self-pity to avoid responsibility. So that means that you're not accepting responsibility for your feelings. So if you say, oh, I can't go to work, I've got a headache. I can't go to school, I got a headache. Oh, I'm feeling stressed. Why? What's wrong? Oh, that person told me I'm bad. That person insulted me. This happened. I broke a fingernail, whatever it is. And now I'm all upset. I can't deal with this problem. All right? No, you're not seeing things objectively. So whatever happens, whatever problems are occurring, you have to look at objectively. Is it really that big a deal? Or are you making it bigger so that you can have a headache, you can be stressed, you can be tired, or whatever it is, so you don't have to do what you should be doing? So for example, my bicycle fell on the car, caused a scratch. Oh no, oh my God, no, I'm so stressed. I don't know what to do. It's not my fault. The bicycle fell. It's not my fault. The wind blew it. It's not my fault. No, I'm too stressed. No, I can't deal with it. No, I don't have a pen and a paper. I can't write them my phone number. I'm just going to go home. You see? So are your emotional reactions appropriate? Or are they just an excuse to avoid responsibility? Okay? So everything is the opposite, right? Like a coin, this side, that side. So when I will accept the responsibility, I will always be calm. I'm never going to get upset because I don't need to. Because getting upset is a way of avoiding responsibility. You follow? Do you understand? Yeah? Not you, talking to her. The 11-year-old has to learn the most right now, right? So when you get upset and you cry and this is just because you don't want to accept that you did something wrong. And getting all upset is so that you don't have to see what you did. But when you say, okay, look, I made a mistake, this happened, right? Then you don't get upset. You stay very comfortable, very confident. Okay? Is that clear? It's good. All right.
Yeah. In my experience, there's people that will respect when you take responsibility for mistakes, and people that will try to take advantage of you once you admit to making a mistake and taking that step. So, for example, I dropped the bike on the car and it caused a scratch, and now the owner wants to paint the whole car, for example, because of that one little scratch on my, on my dime or my cost. So how do you deal with people?
You take responsibility for your actions. Say, if you scratch one corner of the car, then, and he says you have to paint the whole car, well then you take responsibility for the situation and you go to a paint shop and say, okay, what really needs to be done? You don't let him manipulate you because I'm a good person. I'm taking responsibility for my actions. So I'll also take responsibility for you not to abuse me, and I will check with the professional what it's going to take to make this repair. And if I have to paint the whole fender, not just a little scratch, well, if that's what the professional car repair guy says, then I'll do that. But I don't have to paint the whole car. Okay? So, yeah, they'll try to take advantage of you, but then you've got to take responsibility and verify if that is true, if that is what needs to be done or what really needs to be done. And you do what needs to be done. Remember here I said objective. Objective, do you know what objective means? Because it's amazing how many people don't know what objective means. Objective means that's what it is. That's the truth of what it is. So I scratched this much on the car, but it was on the front fender. I have to paint the whole front fender, but I don't have to paint the whole car. And you know the funny thing about that? As I was writing the note to leave, the owners of the car were just coming back. And and they said, what are you putting on our car? Oh, you're the owners. Okay, this is what happened. I'm so sorry. Here's my number. Please get it repaired and I will pay you. And they said, you know what? You're so honest. Don't worry about it. because they were so amazed how honest I was. They said, you don't have to. We're so impressed. Okay. So yeah, so objective means you have to verify. Yes, let them try to be greedy, but then let me see what's the truth. When you have a strong self-confidence, he can ask for the moon and you say, no, I'm sorry, I'm only giving you a rock. You know, you give what's appropriate because you know that I am doing what it takes to repair what I did, which is the opposite. In other words, you scratch one scratch. He says, paint the whole car. You're going to say, no, I'm only going to paint that scratch. See, you're going to do the same thing he's doing to minimize your obligation. Then, of course, you have a problem. You have to be willing to take full responsibility to make everything exactly the way you left it or the way you found it. Okay? All right, so our next one. So this is the next, remember I said there's two main points to be super successful in this world. The first is accept responsibility. The second, honor your word. All right? My grandfather told me, he said, a true person's value, like your wealth, is calculated by how good your word is. So when I say things, that's what I was telling you before. I don't know if I mentioned that to you before, Mo. Right now I have 4 people who have given me hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest or hold for them. They just transfer the money to my personal bank account, and I'm managing that money. And for all 4 of these guys, I wanted to give a contract, a receipt, something. They said, no need. I said, but please, you're giving me all this money. I could steal it. There's no record. It's you, David. You're Bank of David. I can trust you completely, right? Why? Because every single thing I ever say in my life, if I will do it, I will do it, all right? Things like, for example, just before I go into the slide, I owned camera stores. Customer came in once and he wanted to buy a camera. And I didn't have that one in stock. So I looked at the catalog. I said, okay, this is the best camera for you. I called the supplier. How much is it? They told me the price, let's say $100. I quoted to the customer, $150. Everybody is happy. Great. A couple of days later, the camera arrives. They charged me $200. What happened? Our salesperson quoted you wrongly. It's $200. I still sold it for $150. I lost money. Because my word is law. For me, it's my law. And you know, I had the highest profitable stores in the whole country. My photo stores made more profit than any other competitor store in all of Canada. Probably in the US as well. Right? Because I had such loyal customers. Because that's my attitude to business. If I say something, no matter how much it's going to cost me, how much time it takes, whatever, I will do it. This gives 2 things. First thing is great self-respect. I know who I am. I am proud to be me because when I say it, it'll be done. The second thing is I'm very careful what I promise. Because if I say I'll do something, I'm going to have to do it. So I'm very careful not to just randomly say, yeah, I'll do this, I'll do that, sure, we'll do this, I'll do that. I don't do that. Because if I say it, I'm going to have to do it. So it keeps me out of a lot of trouble. All right. So your true value is calculated by the degree that you keep your word. As honest, as reliable, as precise, you said it, that's exactly what happens. That's wealth. If you say you'll do something, you have to do it exactly as you said you would. In business, quote a price, you have to honor it even if you lose money. If you say you will be somewhere at a certain time, or you will call someone, I'll call you at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, that phone better ring. Whatever you say you will do, you must do it. Exactly as you say you will. Why is this one so important to be somewhere or to call? Is because if I say I'm going to meet you at 7:30 and I'm not there, you're waiting for me, that means I don't respect you, right? I'm more important than you. You can wait for me. You're a servant. You can wait for me. I'm special. I'm important, right? So when someone is not respecting another person, nobody will respect you. And if no one respects you, you won't respect yourself. So you want to have strong self-respect, self-confidence, feel proud of who you are. You have to be respectful of other people. You have to honor your word. So your word is your own personal commandment to yourself. If you say you will do something, even if the other person says, it's okay, you don't have to. No, I said it, I will do it. Even if they're going to let you off. Now, why is that important? Because you need to be in the habit of doing what you say you'll do. If you let yourself off from keeping your commitments, then you'll always be weak at it. But if you force yourself to be very precise, keep everything you say you will do exactly as you said it, even if the other one says, it's okay, you can be late. No. It's not up to you to let me off. I enforce my own rules upon myself. I said I will do it, and I am determined to be proud of who I am. So I must do what I say. Then you'll feel so much stronger about yourself. Now, laziness is I don't want to do it, right? I'm lazy. I don't want to do it. Now, why is a person lazy? Well, if I do it and if it's no good, then I'll feel bad. If I do it and it's wrong, I'll feel bad. If they don't like it, then I'll feel bad. If I get too many complaints, I'm going to feel bad. So I don't want to do something. But I don't know how to say, I don't want to do it because maybe I don't think I can do it well, or people will complain, or what it is. So I just know I'm lazy. I don't want to do it. This is all subconscious, all the subconscious mind. But when you know you will do the best you can at everything you do, you won't be lazy. Yeah, I'll do it, because if I say I'll do it, I will do it. So I'm not scared. Okay? So if you don't respect others, you cannot respect yourself. So all of this, if you want to take a picture of that, it's how you have to behave, honor your word, so that you will respect yourself. Okay? So taking full responsibility and honoring your word are like the two pillars that hold up a building. What? You have a question? Oh, okay. So yeah, honor your word, take responsibility. Those are the two poles, like the two legs that you stand on. You want to stand solid, you need two legs. Those are the two legs that build your character. Okay, any questions so far? It's cool? Yes? Will you raise your finger? It means you have a question. No. Okay. All right, next point. The foot and mouth disease. You know the saying, he put his foot in his mouth? I put my foot in my mouth so many times, I can still put my feet behind my head. I'm that flexible. I've learned. When you say a stupid thing, you put your foot in your mouth. You feel embarrassed. And then you always, that's every time you do that, you say something stupid, put your foot in your mouth, you feel embarrassed, your self-esteem gets lower, 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 lower. So we're going to learn not to have this foot in the mouth disease. The way to never be wrong. I'm never wrong. Anybody, ask anyone. They always, if they argue with me in the end, they always say, yeah, you were right. I'm always right. And it's very simple. You can also always be right. It's very easy. All you have to do is, unless you're 1,000% certain, don't say anything at all. Then you're never wrong. And the opposite of never being wrong means always right. So the way to always be right is to never be wrong. And the way to never be wrong is never say anything unless you're 1,000% certain, which means you always ask questions even if you're sure you know something. So when you're having a conversation with someone and you're sure, I know exactly what you're talking about. I know what you mean. And you start talking, and we'll do this, because I know what you mean. But you didn't ask, what did I really mean? So you got it wrong. And then you look stupid. You see? So you always ask questions to be sure you understand what the person is saying If it's at work, in a job, what do they really want you to do? You ask a lot of questions. I had one guy I sold one of my businesses to, and of course, when you sell a technical business, you have to train them. It takes many months. And one day he says, he asked me a question, and I asked him a question in return, and he got very angry with me. He says, I can't stand it. Every time I ask you a question, you always answer me with another question. I said, that's because I wasn't sure what you were talking about. How can I give you an answer if I'm not 1,000% certain I understand exactly what you want? Now, most people don't do that, and the reason is you're too scared to look stupid. People are too scared to look like they don't understand, so they don't ask questions. Then you say the wrong thing, you put your foot in your mouth, you get the instructions wrong, you do something mistake, and then they're really angry at you after. So, always ask before you say anything. Be absolutely sure you understand the whole story. Because when you speak foolishly, it kills your view of yourself because you feel stupid, you feel embarrassed. Okay? Now, the other thing is, do not try to show off. Because when you try to show off, I'm great, I'm wonderful, the impression is the opposite, obviously. I have two stories for you. That's me, my airplane, I fly. I know how to fly, I'm a pilot. Okay. I was at a party once, and my ex-girlfriend, her new boyfriend, was talking to me. And he was very intimidated by me because he had achieved nothing in his life. I was already a millionaire, I had airplane, I had many different things. So he's trying to show he's good. He's smart, he's as good as me. And he was saying, one time I was flying. I was with my boss, he had an airplane, and we were driving down the runway, which is supposed to be taxi, but anyway, driving down the runway, and there was another plane coming right at us, landing. And my boss didn't see it, and I grabbed the wheel and turned the wheel and got our plane to go on the side so it missed us. I saved our lives. So he's showing off, right? See, the thing is, I'm a pilot, and he's not. When you turn the wheel on an airplane while you're on the ground, nothing happens. Nothing happens. That's only when you're in the air. When you're on the ground, to move a plane left and right, it's the rudder pedals. There's 2 foot pedals, like brakes or gas, right? You have to push the pedals. That's how the plane turns while it's on the ground. So he is trying to impress me that he also flies and so on. He ended up looking like an idiot. As I said, I've been to 92 countries. I've spent more than half my life living in different countries. People like to talk. They like to show off. I'm sometimes at these social events, and there was one, this fellow, he's talking about, I've been to 72 countries. Very nice, impressive, okay. And he starts talking about Malaysia. I lived in Malaysia for 8 years. I know the country. And he's talking about Malaysia. And I'm thinking, what he's saying doesn't match what I know. So I said to him, how long were you in Malaysia? He says, 3 days. And where did you go? He said, just to Kuala Lumpur, the main city. And he thinks he knows the whole country. You see? So I didn't say a word. I didn't need to embarrass him. But I know the guy's an idiot now. So I have no respect for him. And then he can see by my face that I know he doesn't know anything and I have no respect for him. So he feels inferior. You see? So when you don't know who you're talking to, he didn't know where I've lived. He doesn't know how many countries I've been. And he's showing off. I know this, I know that. I'm so good. I know Save the Airplane. I've been to 72 countries. But you don't know who you're talking to? You could really stick your foot in your mouth, huh? So that's why we're back here. Ask. So when you meet somebody, don't be so sure you know what they know or that you know more than them. Don't talk and show off yourself. Rather, ask questions to learn, who am I talking to? What can I learn from this person? What do they know? What have they done? So you ask questions, and that way you never embarrass yourself, and you learn more. All right? So again, this foot and mouth disease is a big destruction of self-esteem. So if we don't do these things, we don't stick our foot in our mouth, you don't destroy it, it's like a plant, right? You know tea? Tea is a leaf, right? And it's a tea, comes from a bush. You know why it's a bush? Because they keep cutting the leaves. If you left a tea plant alone, you didn't cut the leaves off, it would grow into a huge tree. Okay? Yeah, it's a huge tree, but you're always cutting the leaves, so it never gets bigger than a bush. And this is the same thing with self-esteem. Every time you stick your foot in your mouth, you're cutting the tree so it never grows. You're cutting your self-esteem. You're cutting your self-confidence. So you'll never be feeling strong about yourself. So that's why by not doing something stupid, you will increase your feeling good about yourself. So remember the first slide, I'm awesome, I'm great, I'm amazing. All of these affirmations are not going to help you get feeling better if you continue to stick your foot in your mouth. Okay? But if you don't stick your foot in your mouth, you don't need the affirmations. You will naturally feel better about yourself. All right? Some people talk about business. Another one of those events. I'm sitting there with 4 people talking, and this one guy is telling the other guy about, how to do business, how to do this and this and this and business. And I'm listening to him, right? I've owned over 20 companies. So I'm listening to him talking. And then I just say, I didn't say anything about me. They don't know who I am. But the guy who thinks he's the genius in business is talking. Doesn't ask me who I am. He doesn't ask what I've done. He thinks he knows. And then I said to him, so he's maybe in his mid-40s, mid-late 40s. And I said to him, how long have you been in business? He said, just 2 years since COVID. But the first year I didn't do anything because of COVID, so it's just been open for 1 year. Before that, I always worked for a company. So here is a guy, 1 year, 1 business. He thinks he's a genius, talking so smart because the other guy he's talking to is still working for a big corporation. So he thinks, I am wonderful, I am awesome, I am great, right? The affirmations. So he's convinced his conscience that he's amazing. So he starts to show off without asking, who else is sitting here and what do they know? And he ends up looking like, well, I don't show them that they're idiots, but he obviously is, not so smart. And then if I just say anything, or what if somebody else says, excuse me, you think you know, do you know who David is? Do you know David, how multimillionaire he is, how successful he is? Do you understand who you're talking to? Then he's going to feel so stupid, right? Destroyed the self-esteem again. So you have to be so careful to ask questions, know who you're talking to, and don't show off. Okay? Any questions about that so far? It's cool? All right. Respect everyone. Never disregard another human being. Pay your debts and value your time and other. Okay, these are 3 different things here. The first thing is respect everyone. Never disregard another human being. That's obvious. It doesn't matter if they are your servant. It doesn't matter if they are the waiter. It doesn't matter if they are the cleaner. Whatever they do for you, say thank you. You say please. We respect everybody. You don't have to give the waiter the time to sit and chat about your whole life story, but you can say thank you and please. We have to respect everybody. Now, pay your debts. This one is super, super, super important. I'll give you one example. There's somebody, she is here, she's been here for a month here in Dubai, trying to get her visa, doesn't know what to do. All right, so I said, okay, I'm going to help you. So I took her to one government office. I spent 3 hours. I picked her up. I drove us there. I drove back. It's 1 hour of driving both ways or so. So there's money for the petrol. It's 3 hours of my time. So we go in the office, and then afterwards we sit to have a coffee to discuss the information we got from this government office. And you know what? She wouldn't even pay for either coffee. She made me pay for both drinks. Do you think I'll ever give her 2 seconds of my time again? No way. Pay your debts. Everything you know, someone taught you. Every little thing somebody does for you, you must show gratitude. You must appreciate and respect everything that anyone has done for you. So always pay your debts. Now, if you justify it, oh, it was their job. Oh, it didn't cost them much. Oh, he was free anyway. He had the time. Oh, he likes to do it. That's your affirmations, right? Oh, it's okay, it's okay. He doesn't mind doing that. But your subconscious mind knows that you owe me a debt for my time. Even if I was happy to do it for you as a favor, it's still my time. I could have done something else. Still my money for the petrol. You owe a debt. So you never justify getting out of paying your debts through some form of gratitude or appreciation. Like I said, a cup of coffee, whatever it is, a chocolate bar, a candy, whatever. A sincere thank you. Or, I owe you one. Ever heard that expression? Right? I owe you one. So one day you come to me, you need something, you come to me, I'll do for you. You know, you'll have a debt. So your subconscious knows you have a debt. If your conscious writes it off and says, no, 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 it's okay, it was just a favor, I don't owe him anything, your subconscious is keeping a ledger. It's accounting. It's saying you have this debt, this debt, this debt, this debt. Just like you owe the bank. And so you're never free if you have big debts. So while you're still young, you don't have many debts to pay. But as you start to grow up, and who taught you to tie your shoelaces?
Myself.
Really? Someone had to show you. Did you learn math by yourself? No, someone showed you. You owe a debt to the person who showed you. So one day you have to remember them and say thank you. Send them a flower, something like that. Make a drawing, whatever. We have to pay all our debts for every good thing anyone did for us. All right, very important. And it's better to pay it immediately in some way because then you don't have to think about it. Because it goes in the subconscious. So it's always there eating away. Value your time and other people's time. So if I ask you a question, give a straight answer. Don't give a long story that takes 20 minutes when you could have just said yes. Right? Direct to the point. Time is precious because when you lose time, it's gone forever. So that's respecting other people. And again, respecting other people is respecting yourself. So value your time and the time of other people. Don't waste anyone's time. All right. All of these things. Now, if you wasted time, then you have a debt. Wasted someone else's time. You have a debt. And if you don't think of it that way, the debt stays in your subconscious. So that's like a little hole that's eating away at it, at your confidence. Okay, any questions? That's good. So here's the exercise. You can take a picture of this one if you like. This exercise is something, this is like another story, all right? Human beings have a brain that's different than any other creature on earth. We like to make things. We're designed to create. And if we don't create, then you know you have failed in your entire reason for existence. Because we exist only for one driving force, to create. To make something new, to leave a place better than when we got there. Whatever you create, it's totally irrelevant. It doesn't matter. As long as you're doing something that today it's there, but yesterday it was not. You come into the room, you go to visit your friend, their kitchen is full of dirty dishes, you wash the dishes. You leave them with a clean kitchen. This is creating something of beauty. You've cleaned a mess, created cleanliness, beauty. You work in the garden. You plant some flowers. You grow some vegetables. You make music. You play music. You make some art. You make something of beauty. You clean some. You make something look good. You must be creative. Otherwise, that aspect which separates humans from every other creature isn't being satisfied, which means that you are wasting the space you occupy. You're wasting your life. And your subconscious knows that, hey, we're here in this body on Earth with one thing that makes me different than any other animal, which is I've got to create something. I have the capacity to create, and I'm not doing it. So therefore, what am I doing here? I'm not serving my reason for existence. That eats away at your self-esteem. But if you are always doing something, creating something, making something, then you feel satisfied with, yes, today I was good. I was a good person today. I did something. There's something that is better today because I exist, because I was there. That I made it, created it, fixed it, whatever it is. Like when I'm good at fixing stuff. So whenever I'd visit a friend's house, if anything is a little bit broken or the chair is wobbly, I fix it. I just like fixing. So I leave things in a wake of, instead of a wake of mess and disaster, I leave a wake of fixed, clean, organized. You see? So I'm proud to be who I am. I'm proud to go over to someone's house because I know anywhere I go, something will be better because I was there. Even if it's a small thing. I had some friends I stayed with for a few weeks in Colorado, and they had two little girls. I think they were about 5 years old, twins. And they said, David's the fixer. So like you call me Uncle David, they'd call me Uncle Fixer. Uncle Fixer. So, create something of beauty. Now, a smile is more beautiful than a frown, right? So, if you see somebody very sad, like what I like to do sometimes when I'm hiking or walking along the street and there's not many people around, it's very quiet, and somebody is walking, some people are very depressed, right? So when I'm walking by, I don't say anything, I see, they look sad, As I walk by, I go, smile! And they, what was that? And then they might start laughing, and it makes them happy. I created something of beauty. I created a smile instead of a frown. So you see, create something of beauty is pretty broad. There's no excuse not to be able to do something every day. All right? So making someone happy. I mean, you can do that to a server. You go get the coffee and you can see they're stressed. The person making the coffee or cleaning the tables. They're sad, stressed because people treating them badly. And you stop and talk to them. How's your day? How are you feeling today? Are you enjoying life? Or whatever it is. And you treat them like a human being. And they, somebody treats me like a human being. I feel human again. Not just a servant. You see? That's creating something of beauty. All right? So that exercise is very important because then at the end of the day, you will go to sleep feeling, yes, today I was worthy of my existence. I did something. I created something beautiful. Feel proud to be who you are. All right. Now, here's another exercise. Now, you love to talk, but not everyone wants to listen to you talking. All right? Now, I don't know if I think all of you are very quiet people. But be attentive to listen more, allowing other people the pleasure of speaking, because people love to talk. So when we're asking questions instead of talking a lot, it makes them feel good. And when they feel good, they like and respect you. All right? So it doesn't mean always being silent, but it means asking questions, but don't go on too much. And when people are saying, I did this, I did that, don't say, oh yes, and I did that, and I did that, and I did that. You know, you don't compete in the conversation. You don't try to show, oh, I did that also, I'm better than you, I did more than you, right? You let people talk. Encourage them to talk more. Then they will feel so good. It goes back to the previous exercise. You've created something of beauty. You've made them feel happy. And the more you make people feel happy in a productive way, you'll feel better about yourself too. But then going back to Mo's question, you cannot let it be where they take advantage of you. You have to be doing it in a way that's productive and does not destroy or take away from your life either, right? So every situation is different, right? Conversations are a great way to do it. You make them happy by letting them talk. Very simple. Now, this one, very important. Do the best you can for the sake of doing the best you can, right? So if you're saying, oh, I don't get paid enough to do this job well, or, oh, I'm only paid till 5 o'clock, I leave at 5 o'clock, whatever it may be. You will not respect anyone who does a job halfway and leaves, right? So do you deserve respect if you also do things halfway and leave? So when you do something for the sake of doing it the best you can, you don't cut corners, then people will respect you, you will respect you. And remember, your subconscious is watching all the time and determining what you think of yourself. Now, why is it we say, garbage, it's made in China. It's made in China, it's not good. I don't trust it, it's made in China. Made in Germany, wow, now that I trust it, right? You know, right? Different products from different countries. Why is it? Because the Germans will make something really, really good. It's more expensive, but it's good. A BMW, a Mercedes, good. But the Chinese are always cutting corners. They're always trying to use a cheaper material, cheaper parts, save a little bit of money. There was a building, a 20-story apartment building in China, built in China. It was in China. The whole building, book, fell down on the side. The whole building in one piece fell. Why? The support columns. When you build a building, you drill into the ground and you pour concrete columns deep into the ground, and those concrete columns are in the ground, and that's what you build the building on top of. Okay? What they did, they wanted to save money. So instead of making the columns solid concrete, they made them hollow. So they saved like half the concrete. So it was like a tube instead of a solid column. So it wasn't strong enough to support the building. So the whole building fell down. So this is the idea. No one respects made in China. People do respect made in Germany. Germans are making it properly. The Chinese always cutting corners. So are you going to be China or Germany? What's your life going to be? What's your reputation going to be? China, Germany, Switzerland? What about Swiss watches? The best watches, they make them so well.
Switzerland?
Huh? Switzerland, yes. You want to be Switzerland? No, okay, you don't know. You wait till you go, you'll see. So, what are you going to be? Are you going to be China or are you going to be Germany? Are you going to cut corners or are you going to do the best you can? Right? That's it. Or Japan. I had my photo machines, photo processors bought from Japan, and they broke. Well, one of them was problems. They sent the guys from Japan with the parts, and they just stayed there for 2 weeks until the machine worked perfectly and waited to make sure it kept working perfectly. So that's why I respect, if it's made in Japan, that's good quality. And I know that if I buy from a Japanese company, they're going to stand behind the work or the product. But I know if I buy from a Chinese company, forget it. Quality is down and service is non-existent, right? So you have to determine what you're going to be. Are you going to do everything you do the best you can do, regardless of what you get paid, because you do it for the sake of your own self-respect? Because if I do it halfway, I do a crappy job, I know I'm no good. But if I really did it well, best quality, I'm very proud of myself. So it's the same thing. You're a salesperson. Here I've got one product where I know this is going to work for the next 40 years perfectly without breaking. This one is a lot cheaper, but it could break next week. Which one am I going to be more confident selling? Right? I'll be very proud to say, this is the one you should buy. I stand behind it. I am going to be really happy because I know if you buy this one, in a week you're going to come and tell me I cheated you and I sold you garbage. So you are your product. So when you are always doing things the best you can, you will be proud and confident. When you go for a job, when you go on a date, when you go to whatever customer, you said, I know who I am. And I know that if I say I will do it and it will work, and it will be good because I know who I am. I know what I do. So that confidence, and having employed hundreds of people myself in my companies, I had to hire. I have to know who to hire, right? So I choose the one who shows me they are going to be reliable. They will stand behind whatever they say. I never applied for a job, by the way, in my whole life. I've been working, my first job I was 12. And every time, every other job I had, they came to get me. They came to ask me to work for them. I have never applied for a job because it would always be a customer. And the customers would see, wow, look how this guy works. I need him to work for me. You see? So that's it. Do the best you can for the sake of doing your best. You will feel so good about yourself. So now here, take this picture. This one is another exercise. Every night before you go to sleep, you ask yourself these 5 questions. What did I do well today? I did my job really well. I put in a little extra effort. I wasn't lazy. What did I do that I should not have done? Oh, there was some work to do, but I turned the other way. I avoided it, whatever it may be. What didn't I do that I should have done? Again, I should have done something that I avoided. What did I do that I could have done better? Well, I cleaned the dishes, but I didn't actually rinse them very well, and so they still have a little dirt on them. What do I want to do tomorrow? Tomorrow I want to be impeccable. I want to do everything perfectly. That's just examples. You will have to answer your own questions. But you review these 5 questions. It only takes a couple of minutes. You do that every night before you go to sleep, and you'll start to see, who am I really? I'm an honest person. Ooh, but what did I do that I should not have done? I did steal that pen. I never forget anything. Oh, but I took David's pen and I put it in my bag and forgot to give it back. Just a reminder that you give me back my pens. But you see, it's simple things like that. I never forget anything. Oh, but then I forgot to give the pen back. Today, actually, talking about that, I went to it was a little networking event, and it was in a restaurant, and I had ordered a coffee. And I brought the coffee, I'm there, and then, okay, finished, bye-bye, guys. And I walked out, I got in the car, I started driving. I went, shit, I didn't pay. So I drove back, and I went into the restaurant and paid. Okay? So we do make mistakes, but I was already in the car driving away. There's no way they could come after me for the 25 dirham that I owed them. I was free and clear, had a free coffee. I didn't have to go back. But I did, because I want to respect myself. Okay? So this is what I mean. What did I do that I should not have done? What didn't I do that I should have done? I could say that. I didn't pay when I should have paid. So these questions help you see who you really are. Because I'll tell you one thing, every human being doesn't know who they really are. You don't know the truth about yourself because your subconscious doesn't want to see it. Because if we steal a little bit, we lie, we cheat, we're this, we're that, we're lazy, we don't want to see it because then we'll feel bad about ourselves. It's just the way the subconscious mind works. So I guarantee you, you don't know who you really are. And that's why you'll be shy. It's why you'll feel intimidated. It's why you'll feel weak. It's why you'll feel scared. It's why you won't have courage in life. It's why you don't want to speak up. Because you don't know yourself. But your subconscious does. So these 5 questions every night, you will know who you are, and then you'll know what to change. Or you'll change automatically. Because, for example, if there's something to steal, and you know you're going to get caught, there's no way I could steal this and get away with it. I'm not going to steal it. So if every night you're going to review your day, your subconscious and your conscious is going to say, I better be a good person today, because tonight I'm going to get caught. Okay? That's why we have to make that a habit, to do that every night. Just takes a couple of minutes. All right? So what do I want to do tomorrow? Impeccable action. You know what's impeccable, right? Perfect. Not a single thing wrong. It is 100% perfect, which is totally impossible. There's no way you can be perfect. You know, there's laws, whatever, traffic laws, this law, that law, there's laws. In the United States, I talked to one lawyer, and he said the legal system in the US, because he's a US lawyer, he said every day you will break, as much as you want to be perfect and follow every law, you will break a minimum of 80 laws per day. Because there are some laws which contradict other laws. So that means if I obey this law, I'm going to break that law. If I obey that law, I'm going to break this law. Okay? So it's impossible to be impeccable, but you strive for it. I want to be impeccable, so I can't be lazy and overlook some things. All right? Now, why do you want to strive to be impeccable? Because you want the reputation of being impeccable. It sounds impossible, but it's a worthy goal, all right? Trying is better than never even trying, all right? So if you're always trying to be, and impeccable, I don't mean, being crazy about it, but always on time, always reliable, always do what you say, don't stick your foot in your mouth, things like that. All the other things I've taught you tonight is being impeccable. Okay? So that is what you strive for. Okay, so there we go, we're done. So these are the next workshops for the rest of this month, and then I'm probably stopping. I don't know. But I don't know that you guys are interested in that. But I was expecting a few more adults here. But this is the schedule for the rest of this month. And then this is our social media stuff. You still have social media. You can go on and like me. Give us lots of likes and comments even. You can write, oh, wow, David is really a strange man and he's bizarre and I don't know. And you can have fun listening to him. Whatever. You can make some comments, would be very nice.
But I think the self-confidence, this workshop about self-confidence is very good for this kind of people.
It's good for everybody. Low self-esteem is like a big plague. It's a huge plague now.
I've been talking with so many parents that I'm talking with now. This is the problem with the kids. Like even removing the mask, they are not confident to show their face or whatsoever. Or even like, talking or whatsoever. So there's no way that, especially this COVID time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but for everybody, I mean, if the parent has low self-esteem, the child will have low self-esteem. Yeah. So everybody needs to be better. But of course, it's one thing to be broken and fix it, and it's better as a kid, you fix it before it gets broken.
Well, actually, I'm trying to bring their parents, although their mom is, I think, a lot of self-esteem, I know her. But then the mother becomes so interested that she even asked me, can I let my 2 kids in there?
Yeah.
I asked David.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah. All right. So, questions? Any questions? No? I hope you learned something. Let it sink in. Think about it and do at least some of these exercises, and you'll start to see how different you feel about yourself. All right? And then how different people will respond to you.
And you guys, I would follow up with you about the exercises and let me know how you change, and then will you give us some also feedbacks and recommendations, because you are the first teens, okay?
For
so
Dubai, yeah.
we'll do the video testimonial from your side. So we also have some from the kids. So I could follow up with them. Did you do this exercise? So it's a matter of like to test it.
Yep. Okay. All right. So good? Good. All right. Should we take a picture?
Yeah.
A group thing?
Yeah.
Selfie thing?